promiser neither performs his contract nor does he tender performance, or where the performance is defective, there is a breach of contract. The breach of a contract may be of two types. Number one is the actual or the present breach. Number two is the anticipatory breach. We shall discuss the actual breach first. The actual breach may take place either at the time when the performance is due or when actually performing the contract. The anticipatory breach is a breach before the time for performance has arrived. This may also take place in two ways: by the promiser doing an act which makes the performance of his promise impossible, or by the promiser in some other way showing his intention of not performing it. Now, we shall discuss anticipatory breach of contract. Breach of contract may occur before the time for performance is due. This may happen where one of the parties definitely renounces the contract and shows his intention of not performing it, or does some act which makes performance impossible. The other party on such a breach being committed has a right of action for damages. He may either sue for breach of contract immediately after repudiation or wait till the arrival of the actual date when the performance is due and then sue for breach. If the promisee adopts the latter course, that is, waits till the date when the performance is due, he keeps the contract alive for the benefit of the promiser as well as for his own. He remains liable under it and enables the promiser not only to complete the contract in spite of previous repudiation, but also to avail himself of any excuse for non-performance which may have come into existence before the time fixed for performance. In Hochester versus De La Tour, A hired B in April to act as a courier commencing employment from the 1st of June, but wrote to B in May repudiating the agreement. B sued A for breach of contract immediately after repudiation. A contended that there could not be a breach of contract before the 1st of June. It was held that B was immediately entitled to sue and need not wait till the 1st of June for his right of action to accrue. In Avery versus Bowden, A hired B's ship to carry a cargo from Russia. Later on, B repudiated the contract. A delayed taking action, hoping that B would change his mind before the performance date. War broke out between Russia and Britain before the performance date, frustrating the contract. It was held that A lost his right to sue B for damages by his delay as the contract was discharged by frustration. In Frost versus Knight, the court observed, I quote, "The promisee, if he pleases, may treat the notice of intention as inoperative and await the time when the contract is to be executed and then hold the other party responsible for all the consequences of non-performance. But in that case, he keeps the contract alive for the benefit of the other party as well as his own. He remains subject to all his own obligations and liabilities under it and enables the other party not only to complete the contract if so advised, notwithstanding his previous repudiation of it, but also to take advantage of any supervening circumstances which would justify him in declining to complete it." Unquote. The principle with regard to breach is incorporated in Section 38 of the Indian Contract Act. It states, "Effect of refusal of a party to perform promise wholly. When a party to a contract has refused to perform or disabled himself from performing his promise in its entirety, the promisee may put an end to the contract unless he has signified by words or conduct his acquiescence in its continuance." Let us take the help of some illustrations. A singer, enters into contract with B, the manager of a theatre, to sing at his theatre 2 nights in every week during the next 2 months, and B engages to pay her ₹100 for each night's performance. On the 6th night, A willfully absents herself from the theatre. B is at a liberty to put an end to the contract. Another example would be A singer, enters into a contract with B, the manager of a theatre, to sing at his theatre 2 nights in every week during the next 2 months, and B engages to pay her at the rate of ₹100 for each night. On the 6th night, A willfully absents herself. With the assent of B, A sings on the 7th night. B has signified his acquiescence in the continuance of the contract and cannot now put an end to it, but is entitled to compensation for the damage sustained by him through A's failure to sing on the 6th night. In State of Andhra Pradesh versus T.V. Krishna Reddy, the Supreme Court reconfirmed the earlier principle that a suit for damages can be filed where the notice communicating the termination of contract by the defendant was received by the plaintiff, as it can be said that a part of cause of action has arisen at that place.